place, so that they know that these women are, if they are suffering from anemia or something, they also give them the right, some kind of drugs and tablets so that they can improve. So this is again there, and in most of the states this is being done. Then health empowerment, especially in terms of, this is Gyan Jyoti, contraceptive choices. We know that the women at different places, some of them do not even know what contraceptive choices are available, what will be the best for them. For this, there is a app. There is a which has you can have the different choices. Then they get educated. They get more aware about which is better for them. And also this video also helps them remove some of the myths which are commonly there, which women think not going to kitchen the day they are menstruating. These are all myths, and then people, they are trained and educated through this. Then also technology for health empowerment. These are again small things like ultrasound for pregnant women, temperature, heartbeat. They are taken at a primary center, and then these can be transmitted to the secondary or tertiary care system. And through this, if there's anything critical, can be attended, and this is being done. Especially, I know it is being done in some part of the Tamil Nadu. So whatever I said, I just want to say that, we don't need Cinderellas. When we were small children, we were told a lot of stories about it, women, dreaming and waiting for our destiny to come to ourselves. It will not happen. Women has to work. So we need Cyberellas who is the woman who is socially empowered, individually empowered, economically empowered, professionally empowered, and politically empowered. So we need both Cyberellas and less Cinderellas. And this is the way ahead for all of us. And I think knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. And I want to thank you.
Thank you, Madam, for your enlightened lecture. So now I invite Sudha Nair Ma'am to continue with your presentation.
Good afternoon, everybody. I know it's lunch is waiting for all of us, but unfortunately, I have to drive down to Chennai and take a flight in the morning, so I'm thrusting myself on you all to listen to my talk just before lunch. Can you just open my slides? I was actually asked to speak on entrepreneurship for women, and for the dozen or more of women over here, my talk is for you and for the men to see how you can support women to get into entrepreneurial activity. I have been in the area of gender science and technology for almost 20 years now. And as your Honorable Chief Minister pointed out, very early on, when we used to go for conferences, hardly women, you would find over there. So we come from an era, not that we are too old, we come from an era where we did not have much of women. Today, you're much more fortunate that the number of women in all the areas are increasing. When you look at educational institutions, in almost all streams. Can I just have the attention of all of you also, please? We find that women are present in all disciplines. So, as a science person, whenever we do a research work, first we need to understand what the situation is. So, for a PhD scholar, what I'm going to say will relate, you will be able to relate. So when we want to understand what we are trying to do, we do a scope of work. A scope of work is arrived by looking at what current research has happened and where we would like to position our research in. Similarly, if you want to understand how women can participate in the knowledge economy, I think it is very important to understand what is the ecosystem. How is the ecosystem? Is it favorable for women to come and participate as entrepreneurs? So when I started doing this, I was part of an international research study which was conducted in 2010-2011, where we looked at 120 indicators of women participation, and this was a 6-country comparative study between developed and developing nations. And I found, if you go to the result, you will find, this is the study I'm talking about, Gender Equality in the Knowledge Society, where we looked at 120 indicators to see whether the ecosystem at the nation is favorable for women to participate. I'm not going through the entire slides because we have run out of time, but I just want to say that this is where India stands. In the 6 countries we compared, India was the last. The reason being that we are very good in policy, we are very good in programs, but where we fail is the translation, which is the implementation part. But believe me, I'm not a skeptical person. I'm a very positive person, because looking back, I think at the opportunities I have had, the kind of mentors I have worked with, this country definitely holds much more for women like you all to come forward and work and do well. So if you look at the Global Gender Gap Report 2016, which is the latest report, actually here we have captured the growth we have done in the last decade, from 2006 to 2016, and the various indices which one is looking at is the economic participation and opportunity of the country available for women, the educational attainment, the health, survival, and political empowerment. You find that we still have a long way to go. One is the parity. In many areas, we still have a long way to go. But what is important is that we are bridging the gap. In 10 years, we seem to have bridged the gap to a significant extent, and I believe that in the next 10 years, we'd be almost there in most of the parameters. Since I was asked to speak as what is the role of women as an entrepreneur, I thought I need to understand the data of how many women we have in entrepreneurship in the global and in the Indian. That's how we compare ourselves vis-a-vis global standards. You heard the Honorable Minister saying we want the best. So if you want to have the best, you need to understand what is available so that we can improve and value add to become the best. So we have 39.6 trillion, 30% of the world's wealth is under women's control. And 2020, globally, we'll have 72 trillion being under the control of women. But if you look at India, it's only 7%. 7% women participating with venture capital in entrepreneurial activities, which is a small number when we have 50% capital being women as human resources, which has been pointed out very often in the talks this morning. So obviously, if we want women to participate, the ecosystem should have more number of women leaders who will express the concerns of the women, why we are not able to participate. And so we need to have more decision-making members on the boards in the ecosystem, and there is a need. And India actually has been very fortunate in bringing out a legislation last year that we should have more number of women on boards. I think India is one among the few countries who has this kind of legislation available. So globally, Shashi's, is it? Anyway, I think this is jinxed. So globally, we have very few, as I said, 7% on boards in India is the current number. Since they have taken away my slides, I think I'll have to just talk extempore. So one of the things we try to do at the policy, because we have been working with DST very closely over the years, actually. I think it's more than 15, 16 years we have been working with DST on creating a policy ambience where we will find more women participating. And one of the things which we have done is to look at alternative career paths for women who have had a break, who want to come back. Once you have a break in research, coming back is very difficult into research. So we were thinking of alternative pathways to have for women. And one of the things which we hit upon is entrepreneurial activity. There are two things I want to cover under the entrepreneurial activities, and this is from my own experience of working in the area of biotechnology sector, having set up the first one and only biotech park for women, where youngsters like you can come and start your enterprises. We will do all the support services essential. Now, the biotech sector today is poised for an excellent growth. When my slides come back, I shall put it up for you. Excellent growth. We seem to be doing extremely well in health sector, coming into diagnostics and devices. We seem to be picking up in the area of nutrition and nutraceuticals, cosmeceuticals, we seem to be doing well. Biosimilars, we are picking up. We have become a capital for vaccines. We are doing quite well in drug development. We are picking up there. So the whole biotech sector is poised for an excellent growth for women to participate. This morning you heard that women are present in large numbers in the IT sector. I take a 2-hour drive from my house to the office where I am put up today, and it is in the IT sector where lots of companies like Infosys, Cognizant, TCS, all of them are there. And I find that a lot of youngsters like you walk into the IT sector. I think today the entry level we have about 30 to 35% girls participating. But as we grow, we find it's only 4% women at the top. Now, this is not what we want. We want women to go into the entry level in large numbers and then stay on and grow in the career path. Now, if IT can give this kind of entry levels, I think biotechnology sector is also opening up to have women participating in this sector. And if you were to look at the numbers, I think 100 billion is what we are looking at in the next 2020 or so. That is the market potential India has. And why do I say that women have a potential to participate in the biotech sector? Because we have number of girls in life sciences, and they don't know what to do after doing their MScs and their PhDs. Come on, think. Can you start your own enterprise? Enterprises in areas, health sector, we have a growing geriatric population, old people sitting at home. Can you think of innovative ways of starting an enterprise where you can help this large community, growing community? Can you think of the value chains when one can work on? Because if you look at an agricultural produce, I know every time I come to Chittor, which is a mango belt, that I look at how much of small industries are there doing value addition on mango pulp, bringing out natural bars, etc. There is a lot of value addition one can do in agri-produce. Can women participate there? Food and nutrition, with so much of call on the quality of food which we eat, there's so much of work which needs to be done in the whole area of nutraceuticals, food and food quality, and looking at our traditional wisdom of bringing out foods which we used to eat earlier, which gave us much more holistic health than what we are in today. So there are a lot of opportunities coming up for women in the area of biotechnology, and I would request all of you, be it agriculture, be it BT, be it IT, be it interface of IT and BT, I think there are opportunities for women in science to come out and look at employment opportunities. My last few slides were on a very good illustrative example of the biotechnology park in Chennai, which we actually set up in 2000-2001. And today, the park, even today, the park is the one and only one, a perfect working example of if we create an ambience for women to participate in entrepreneurial activities, you can churn out women entrepreneurs. And we have had 38 entrepreneurs coming out of the park. Currently, we have 6 startup companies. We have 3 incubators in the park. All of them are women. And I wish I had my slides to show you all, but you could always Google Biotechnology Park for Women in Chennai, and you will find the profile of women entrepreneurs present over there. This is a very good example which can be replicated because I think we look for workable, replicable models, and I believe that this is something which can be replicated in every state. Today's the government is really worried about skilling. So there are a lot of opportunities available for universities, for women's studies, to bring, policy status on any research is very important, data is very important if you want to decide on a policy, design a program for exclusive target groups. And I think the women's studies has an excellent role to play to look at what are the interventions which have been done by the government and how it has impacted, what more can be done is something which the Women's Studies Department can definitely do and provide policy briefs to the ministers. And since it is a young audience, I mean, we expected more students to be here. My last slide was on the potential qualities needed to be a good woman. I know when Tessie, I have known Tessie for some time. When Tessie is in a successful launch, she doesn't differentiate herself as a woman over there. She's just a member of the team. She has contributed over there. That's what we should do. Just forget that you're a woman. Do your best. When something is delegated to you, do well, because you should stand out in the crowd that you have done well. Somebody should recognize you there for your qualities, not because you're a lady. This is something which I have learned the very hard way over the years. I worked with Dr. M.S. Swaminathan for 25 years. And when something was given to me, a person who would make corrections even in full stops and commas, if I find one mistake in a document which I have put to him, I feel very bad about it. That's where women empowerment actually starts. You need to feel that you can do something. You need to feel that you can do it well. And you need to feel that when I do something, people are there to recognize me. It comes from within. It cannot be taught to you. And this is my last thing. I'm very sorry that my slides, I took really some time to prepare the slides because I just love talking to students from colleges because there was nobody to tell us what to do. We learned the hard way. And these were things which I thought I should share with women scientists as well as, because today the world is very competitive. You just can't sit back and say, I couldn't do it. It doesn't work that way. Tears don't help at all. Even I have cried. In fact, the latest book by Cheryl says, there's no harm in crying, but let not somebody else see that. Because, they take it as a weakness. Being emotional, there's nothing wrong in being emotional. Only when you're emotional, you're actually a perfect human being. Let me tell you that. Otherwise, you're arrogant. There is nothing wrong in being emotional. I'm appealing to all the women. There's nothing wrong in getting angry. Men also get angry. There's nothing wrong. But let's maintain that decorum. Let us see that nobody else, sees that difficulty we have. And I'm sure, we have had best examples of women from history. I'm sure we have that inert strength in us to move forward. And I'm sure that, you will all participate in translating the dream the Honorable Chief Minister and yesterday the Prime Minister has said. 50% contributing to this nation's growth will see that we are not number 3, but number 1 as we go by. Thank you so much for the opportunity and for the patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Your inspiring and enlightened lecture. I think all the young girls and other people will take the message of ma'am. And in the middle, we got a technical problem. We're very sorry for that. Now we'll break for lunch just for half an hour. And I request all the participants to be here and who come after the lunch also, please wait for half an hour. And you are going to listen to the eminent women scientist lectures after the lunch break. Thank you.